Hey guys, morning everybody. Happy Monday. Let me go and set up this room real quick and then we can get started. 6:17 right now, so we got about 13 minutes till market open. Get everything all set up right here. Looks good. Looks good. Looks good here. Today is Monday, December 13th. All right. All right, that's good. Let me just get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. All right, let's go right there. All right, cool. People are making their way into the room right now. So give a few minutes for people to make their way in, and then we can get started. All right. All right, cool, guys. Good morning, everybody. It's 6:19 right now. We have about 11 minutes till market open. I'll give it a few more minutes for people to make their way in. Once everyone's in the room, we can get started with our analysis of the market for this week. So let's see. Hey, Maddie, morning. All right, let's see what's going on over here. Today is Monday, December 13th. It's week 3 of December. I think there's Fed news this week. There's not a lot of news, but there's some news this week. So it could be a good thing or it could be a bad thing because it'll cause some volatility in the market, allowing for us to enter trades. However, it can also be kind of dead, right? Because we are getting closer to Christmas, guys. So a lot of you guys do know that the market kind of shifts around the holiday season. Not so much for US 30, but for like the entire market as a whole, especially like the like the Forex market kind of slows down. But US 30 should be a bit normal during opening hours. So we'll see what happens. It looks like it's been pretty bearish during London session. So like London session started over here at about midnight. So pretty much the entire London session has been bearish for the most part, right? It was bearish, but if you look at the retail sentiment is actually like 65% short right now. So we're probably going to see a bounce back to the upside, which is fine because the market isn't open yet. You guys got to keep that in mind that a lot of this is pre-market because the New York Stock Exchange hasn't opened from the weekend. It's going to open in about 9 minutes. So when the market does open in 9 minutes, we can probably anticipate a push to the upside possibly. However, there are a lot of Omicron cases. So I don't know if you guys have been following the COVID news. I just, checked this morning. I was just looking at this right here. It says that COVID deaths in the US near 800,000 as Omicron with risk watch. So with this news right here, this is probably why US 30 is dropping a bit because of COVID news. You guys know COVID causes a lot of volatility in the market, whether it be good or whether it be bad. But just looking at the pre-market news over here, basically just identify that like S&P is steady, which would be mirroring US 30 as COVID death news is. Fed tapering, Apple, which is part of the US 30. So I think it's gonna be kind of bullish this morning, and then Rivian down here. So we'll see what happens in the next couple of minutes when the market does open. It's 6:22 right now, so the market opens in about 8 minutes. Looking over at the futures data, it's currently only 12 points in the red. Looking at retail sentiment, this is what we want to see. The past couple of weeks, retail sentiment has been like at 50%. So there really hasn't been a bias. It's now at 64%. I want this to be lower and lower. The lower and lower it goes, the better for us, because this is going to help us have a bias in identifying where majority of retail traders are trading. So If 64% of retail traders are short, then we're going to be looking to go long. And I'm looking to go long anyways. So we'll see what happens here. I don't care if today is like bearish, because I think if it continues to drop bearish, then later on in the week, it'll swing up. Looking at the news for today, you don't really have anything today. Tomorrow we have a PPI, core PPI. This is inflation news on Tuesday. Wednesday, we have Empire State Manufacturing Index, import prices, business inventories, NAHB housing market index, crude oil inventories. We have like some light news, and then we have the Fed statement on Wednesday. So we have inflation news on Tuesday, Fed news on Wednesday. Thursday, we have unemployment claims, Philly index, manufacturing, building permits, housing starts, industrial production, flash PMI. So pretty much this whole week is going to be filled with a lot of inflation news and Fed and just Fed news in general, because obviously the Fed is going to be directly affected with inflation. So tomorrow inflation news is going to be released, and then on Wednesday we have some core retail sales, and then we have the Fed speaking with their economic projections, basically speaking on the inflation news from the day prior. And then we have them speaking again on Friday. So today might be a little slow because there's not much news going on today, but tomorrow we have inflation news, and then the Fed speaking on Wednesday, I think Thursday and Friday. So good thing and a bad thing. Good thing that it'll cause volatility in the market. Bad thing that it can cause a lot of manipulation in the market, especially based off the news that's released. So the market is opening in about 6 minutes, guys. You can see that the market's been bearish since London. It might continue to be bearish today, and then probably with the inflation news tomorrow, I'm assuming it might be positive. Let me check the the forecast over here. So yeah, so inflation previously it was 0.6%. They're forecasting it to be less, 0.5%. I mean, we'll see. We really won't know until it happens, but I do think it's probably gonna be positive. But I mean, we'll have to confirm that tomorrow. So with that said, we'll see what happens here. So this might continue dropping, and then probably by tomorrow it'll swing up once we have the inflation news that comes out at, let's see, 5:30 tomorrow, pre-market. So we'll see what happens then. Market is going to open in about 5 minutes. When the market opens, we can determine what our bias will be today. But currently right now I have a bullish bias, and the reason for that's because retail sentiment is 64% short. I'm looking for this to, I'm obviously looking to do the opposite of what everyone else is doing. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, with the COVID scares coming around, market's probably gonna keep dropping a bit, especially with the new variant. I mean, but who knows? We'll see what happens. All right, guys, so let's see. Morning, Miles. Morning, Kenny. Morning, Maddie. Morning, Peter. Morning, Lisa. Morning, David. Morning, everyone. Hopefully you guys had a great weekend. Today is Monday, December 13th. Market is opening in about 5 minutes. When the market opens shortly, we'll determine what direction to be trading in. Looking at retail sentiment right now, it's currently 64% short, meaning that retail traders are currently on the short side. Looking at fundamentals right now, currently the futures data is currently 30% or 30 points in the green. It's not that much, so it can easily shift to the upside when market does open. Lastly, looking over at the technical side, right here we have a bearish bias. The reason for that's because price is below the pivots, the trend meter is red. Looking over at the 3 minute, same situation here. Price is below the pivots and the trend meter is red. Lastly, on the 10 minute over here, price is below the pivots and the trend meter is red. So across the board over here, we have a bearish bias with regard to the technicals. But depending on how the fundamentals open in the next 4 minutes, we can determine if price is going to continue dropping or if it's going to swing right back up, right? My guess is that it'll drop a bit and then it'll hit some sort of support, maybe around this area down here. Or this area down here. So price might come down, bounce off the previous session lows, and swing right back up. That's what might happen. And guys, this is something that I want to be very, very clear with you guys. I never tell you guys that things are going to go one direction, right? I give you guys direction and probabilities of things possibly bouncing off these parts, but I never tell you guys that things are for sure going to bounce right here. So don't ever count this as you see price coming down and you automatically buy when there's no entry. Because I see some people buy take trades, and I'm like, why'd you take a trade? There was literally no entry there. And they claim that, like I said, it had to go up. I mean, it doesn't have to go up, guys. No, things don't have to happen. These are all just analysis of what could happen. So you guys got to be able to like to tell the difference between, you know, and I always tell people like price is likely to bounce, but I'm not taking an entry unless there's an entry there. Some people just wait for price to come down right here and they think, oh, it's automatically going to go up, and it doesn't, right? Like last week, you know, last week price came down and people were buying for no reason. There was no buys available. And then it came back up. It eventually came back up. So if you look at the 1 minute here from last week, right? Price was dropping like all morning. And I mentioned that price was going to bounce at some point, right? So we were waiting for price to bounce and we never took any buys on Friday. What happened was people were entering buys like for no reason. It was like a complete sell here, and people just like maybe not a lot of people, maybe like one person, but like people were like taking buys here for no reason. There's literally no buys here. These were all sells. Trend meter was red, prices below pivots. People were buying, taking buys and just praying price would go up. I said price was going to go up eventually, right? And look what happened here. If you guys waited for an actual entry, price did go up. So, I mean, you guys got to like understand that, like, you know, you guys can't just be entering trades for no reason, because price is going to go up eventually, but it does go up. Like, for example, the live session here from 6:30 to 8, we got off around 8. And what happened right when we got off? Price went up exactly where we anticipated. So, but if you waited to take buys over here, like, you know, this would have been a perfect entry and it would have went straight up. But if you took buys here for no reason, just, you know, praying that price would finally swing to the upside, it probably didn't go in your direction. So that's just something that I need to clear up with you guys, because it just blows my mind how people enter trades for no, like literally no reason. And there's like no entry there. So you guys got to stick to the strategies, make sure that you guys are actually following the strategies and not just like taking random trades because you think price is going to go one direction or the other. So, all right. So the technicals are sell. Fundamentals are currently going to open shortly. Market is opening in about 10 seconds. And then we will see what happens here. So morning, Fahad, morning, Christopher, morning, David, morning, Lisa, morning, everyone. Yeah, Randy said people hear what they want to hear. I agree. All right, Rev, I'll check your message shortly. Market just opened right now. So market is now open. You can see prices swinging to the upside right here. Let's take a look at the fundamentals. Fundamentals are currently bearish right now, 47 points in the red. It's not necessarily a strong red bearish confirmation, but it is bearish right now. So let's see what happens. It's pretty much half and half right now. But you can see prices starting to swing to the upside over here. So even though if price swings to the upside, we're still not looking to take any buys yet until the fundamentals confirm it. So you guys got to keep that in mind. You know, just like I mentioned earlier, just because you see this big red candle right here and we're anticipating prices swing up eventually doesn't mean it's going to continue to go up just yet. So you guys got to be a little bit careful and listen closely, right? Because guys, you guys got to remember that I'm giving you guys analysis here. I'm not telling you guys price is going to go a certain way. I'm telling you that I'm thinking price is going to go a certain way. We just don't know when that's going to happen. So let's see what happens here in the next few minutes, and then we'll get started with our entries here. So if this closes above these pivots here with the buy signal and it's a strong green candle, then this would technically be the breakout. However, one thing that you guys want to be careful for is that price is getting close to the these session highs over here. So if price gets close to these session highs right here, price can easily bounce off them, right? That's something that you guys want to be careful of. It can bounce off here or it can bounce off here. And we'll see what happens when this candle closes. So we have a pending buy signal here. If it closes right there, it's still not going to be an entry because price needs to close above with a strong green candle. So right here, nothing available just yet. And you can see price is rejecting right off these pivots right here. You guys got to be careful today too, because it is Monday. So just keep in mind that Monday and Fridays are the riskiest days to trade. Probably Friday's worse than Monday, but they're risky because the market's barely opening for the week. So market's been closed all weekend, and you're going to see some spikes in price in one direction. It will probably just come right back down. Or it can recover back to the upside if it's been dropping for a while. So let's take a look at the fundamentals again real quick. All right, currently down 34 points. As I mentioned, it's not very strong, but it is red right now. So it can easily shift to the upside, which is what we're looking for. We're waiting for this to finally make it bounce to the upside. We'll catch the moves as it continues to push up higher. But right now, there just isn't anything that is, necessarily available. Let's see. Okay, Raf, gotcha. I just saw your message. Looks like you fixed it already, so you're good. Price is currently coming down right here. I'll mark up 635 because after 635, there's not going to be a breakout available, right? So if the breakout doesn't come within the next 2 minutes, then there's not going to be a breakout. You can see right here, we have an invalid buy signal, which is fine. It just needs to be followed by a strong green candle and it needs to close above the pivots over here. If that happens, that will be the breakout. However, the bias right now for the fundamentals are currently red, so it's not necessarily one that I'm looking to take right now. And as you can see, price is starting to come down further. So it's probably not going to come up all the way. So here you see price is starting to come back down. So we have about 2 minutes until 635 to cut off. No entry there. Then we're going to be looking for our normal entries. Go over here and mark up the opening price for US 30. And you can see that market volatility is kind of low right now, which is generally the case on Monday. It's either really low or really high. So, and there's a range right there for US 30 currently. Back up a little bit. All right, so there's no entry here for the breakout. We have about a minute left. I don't think the breakout's going to come up by then, by this 6:35 time point right here that we marked up. So let's start looking for another entry. There's not going to be a breakout today. Obviously, volatility is very low, which we kind of anticipated for today because there is no news today. If you guys go back to the news and you guys are just joining the room, today on Monday, there's not very much news going on for US at all. There's a G7 meeting that's all day, but it's not really high impact. Tuesday, we have inflation news. Wednesday, we have the Fed commenting on the inflation news. They're going to be giving their economic projections and they're going to be releasing the federal funds rate. Funds rate, yeah. And then Thursday, we have flash PMI, some more inflation news. And then Friday, we have another Fed member speaking, Waller. So pretty much not much news today. So the market might be a bit slow today on a Monday. Tuesday is going to pick up with inflation news. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is going to be Fed news and more inflation news as well. So other than that, let's start looking for some scalps here. You can see price move down a little lower. Right here, this is going to be the clean chart. So I'm not really going to put much on here, just drawings. This is the 1 minute, but it's a clean 1 minute so that we can identify where the range is at. This is going to be the 1 minute with all of our markups for our strategies. So I'll be putting our strategies here that we're looking for. So if you guys are new here, or if you guys are just not familiar with what we're looking for, basically these are 3 different strategies that we use. That I personally use. There's other strategies that are available for K2, but this is what I use for scalping. Basically what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for all these 3 strategies to line up on one candle because the market is a bit risky right now due to the holidays and due to just like what's been going on, with regard to COVID and inflation news. So all of these technically work okay on their own standalone, but it's just a bit risky because of how the market conditions are currently. So what I'm mostly doing is I'm looking for all of these to line up all together on one entry. So you're going to see me be a bit conservative with trading. If you guys have been following me for the past couple weeks now, I've been very conservative because the market is very unpredictable. It can have a bias strongly in one direction, but price can easily just shift the other way rather quickly. So that's why I'm just being very careful. And that's something that you guys will start to see yourselves, like, especially if you guys are doing FTMO or doing other funding companies. If you're doing a funding account, there's a lot of restrictions. So in order to stay within those parameters, you have to be very disciplined with regard to what you're, like what trades you're taking. Because the real key with trading with a funding company is not to lose, right? They don't want you to lose. You put yourself in their position. If you're giving somebody a big bankroll to trade, and you're an investor, you would rather have someone not lose very often rather than make big profits, but trading risky, right? So, I mean, you guys just got to put yourself, you guys got to be logical and understand how these funding companies work. Because a lot of people get mad that I'm very conservative with my trading. But the thing is, like, I rarely lose. People who are risky will have a really good day and then they'll blow their entire account like the next day. And they think that that's a good thing. For me, it's all about consistency, guys. Once you guys trade for a while, uh, consistently, you'll start to see that consistency is a lot more important than making those big profits every other day. Because the bigger the profits you're aiming for, the bigger the risk. For me, I'm like very conservative, but the profits are consistent pretty much every single day, every single week, every single month, every single year. And that's the key here. It's all about risk management. All right, so we're looking for any possible entries here. There's not really much. This low right here has been broken, so there's nothing available there. This is going to be the high, and this is going to be the low currently. Let's see, Charlie said 1 sell, 1 minute sell, full TP. Yeah, there was a sell right here. So this is exactly what Charlie was looking at. I completely missed it, but I wouldn't have taken it anyways. We had a sell signal right here. This would be an entry using the pivot scalp. So as you guys can see right here, the pivot scalp, you just confirm a valid sell signal. It's below the pivots. You would have taken that for a sell right there. So yeah, definitely a nice entry off that, Charlie. I'm not sure if you caught it. I didn't catch it. I missed the move completely. But I wouldn't have taken it anyways because it wouldn't have fit the high-low strategy. But that entry right there would have fit both of these right here, intraday and the pivot scalp. For the intraday, you basically just need the signal to match this trend meter right here. These are both red. That'd be an entry using this strategy right here. And then also an entry for this pivot scalp. I'm looking for all three. But yeah, that would have been a good entry, Charlie. Let's see. And I'm like confused why hold up, guys. Let me try to fix this real quick. It seems like my alerts aren't working because I missed that sell signal and I should have had it. Let me just refresh this real quick. Let me save this. Yeah, because I didn't even hear the beep for the sell signal. It's weird. All right, so the volume might be off a bit, but it's okay. I'll just have to make sure to pay attention when the alerts pop up on my screen, because usually there's a beep noise that comes up. All right. So here's the current range right here. What I'm looking for is for price to basically go into consolidation or into a range. And then when it breaks out of it, we'll have an entry for the high-low scalp. And then we can hop into it. So what I'm looking for at this point is I'm looking for price to, we still have a sell bias right here. So I'm looking for price to possibly swing to the upside right here. Kind of consolidate range for a bit. Maybe push up further. And then when it comes back down, I'll be ready to enter those sells. So it's got to be a little cautious, especially for it being Monday. But yeah, we don't have any entries available right now. Let me go to the 3 minute because there was a pending signal off that. Wick off the bottom right there. Let me check if there's any zones around this area, just in case we see any snipes available. It doesn't look like we're going to have any snipes available anytime soon because price is so far from the pivots. If you guys remember correctly, we looking for a wick rejection off the pivot and off the structure. So we got some structure down here, K2SR zones. All right. So no snipe entries available right now. We'll be following it. We'll mark up the daily right here too. It looks like the daily is possibly going to be a buy. So we'll see when this bounce up happens. Whenever the bounce up happens, that would be the daily entry. And we'll be following that as we move along. Let me go over to the fundamentals real quick. All right, so fundamentals are currently 118 points in the red. So we do have a sell bias right now. Retail sentiment is currently 63% short, which is fine. Futures data currently down 39 points. So for the most part right now, we do have a sell bias. The fundamentals are a sell. Technicals are a sell. We're just looking for actual sell entry right here. So that would have been actually a really good trade right there, Charlie. If I saw that in time and that lined up, I probably would have been a little bit tempted to take the trade, but I got to stay disciplined and stick to the requirements here with regard to these 3 strategies. So yeah, no entries available right now. Tracy is asking on the sniper using K2SR or K2SR version 2. You got to use version 2, Tracy, because the version 1 doesn't give you zones. Version 2 gives you zones, while the K2SR just gives you the high and the low for the support and resistance. So you would need the SRV2 because you don't get these zones right here. So let me just show you, for example, over here. So as you can see for the SRV2, you get zones right there. For the SRV1, you just get the support and resistance. So let me see if I could. It's weird. It's weird. It shows that I don't have access to it, but that's weird. Yeah. Yeah, version 1 right here. There we go. So as you can see right here, the version 1, it only gives you like the closest support resistance. It doesn't give you any zones. Version 2 will give you actual zones. So you need the zones here to identify the zones. So it'd be version 2, not version 1. All right, let me go back to the 1 minute. Charlie's asking that 1 minute sell is a variation entry to the right. Yeah, no problem, Tracy. Yeah, Charlie, no variation right now. It would need to be a double wick entry, like basically a double wick rejection off the same candle. So like say, for example, right here, see how we have a low? Oh, well, prices broke below it. But if we had this like double wick right next to it, then it would be an entry or even for a buy here. It would have to be the one right next to it though. Damn, price is dumping pretty heavy. It looks like the COVID news is is affecting the market. Let me check real quick. Yeah, because there's a couple more COVID news right here, like with regard to the UK. Prime Minister Boris says that at least 1 patient has died with the Omicron variant in the UK. You can see the across the board right here, all of the indexes are are currently red. So the Dow's down 168 points, S&P is down 11 points, Nasdaq's down 4.23 points, Russell 2000 is down 8 points. The VIX is currently up, but that's about it. But yeah, across the board, all the indexes are pretty much red. I mean, there's a lot of COVID news that's coming out, guys. So it's something that you guys want to keep in mind. A lot of this stuff happened over the weekend. So a lot of people are just scared, people are scared and selling off because they're worried that the same thing is going to happen when COVID first came up, right? Every time a variant comes out or whenever any new COVID news comes out, price generally tanks a bit, but it's okay because it usually tanks in the beginning, and then what happens is people buy the dip, right? Because people want to buy at a discount. So when price continues to drop, that's why I'm looking over here at the daily. So as you can see, price continues to drop over here. But the thing is, our daily is going to be the first momentum signal after, right? So if that happens, this will probably just swing right back up at some point. So we'll see what happens in the next couple of minutes or so. I'll draw areas of bounces. So this area right here might be an area where price can likely bounce from. Also, this area down here. So these are going to be areas that we probably want to look out for. We'll probably let it bounce a little more. And guys, just, another reminder, just because I'm drawing these areas of support right here doesn't mean that price is for sure going to bounce off these areas. I'm just drawing this to identify where the possible bounces can have, right? So guys, don't use these support areas as actual areas of rejection. You guys got to like actually wait for things to actually come down to here. Like, I don't want to see anybody have any buy limits ready at this point, right? It just doesn't make any sense because the thing is the fundamentals are still sells. So even if price does bounce off this point, I'm not going to be entering from this point here. I'm going to be waiting for an actual entry to swing to the upside, more specifically a buy signal. And that's something that a lot of people need to understand, right? There's no guarantees in trading. There's no guarantees with analysis. Analysis just gives you a better idea of like what's happening in the market, but you should never make moves directly off, speculation, because that's all it is. It's all speculation until it actually confirms that price is going to push in that direction. So, you guys got just to make sure that you guys actually analyze the market and aren't just taking trades because you think price is going to go one direction or the other. Like, for example, over here, we had a sell signal there, but I wasn't taking it because my requirements weren't met here. I need all these 3 strategies to hit. Because when we have these strategies here that line up, they almost always hit. Like every entry I've taken using this right here, where it's like a triple confluence, it's been a full TP every single time. So the thing is, if you guys can win, X amount of trades a week and not lose any, you're gonna have a better idea as to like where your profits gonna be sitting at the end of the week versus taking like 100 trades and losing like half of them. Because the market is a bit risky, especially right now. So see what we got over here real quick. Yeah, so Charlie was talking about the one at 636. Let me see real quick. 636. Oh, we're talking about this one right here. So let me just go back to that real quick. Yeah, so this right here wouldn't have been a variation, Charlie, because they need to bounce off the high. So like the high was up here, there's no high at that point. If this low high was right there, let me just go back one candle and see if there was one that was pending. Yeah, so there was no candle that was there that was a high. If there was a high was there, like say if this was right there, and then you had that rejection right off it, then yeah, that'd be a variation. But there just wasn't an entry right there. But no, you're good. You did identify that properly at 636. Other than that, let's see. Rav said might bounce off London low or US low. Yeah, exactly. Fahad sees the same thing as well. So yeah, what Fahad and Rav are referring to right here is they're anticipating price to possibly bounce off this right here, off of either this London low or this previous New York low right here. So we'll see what happens there. I mean, it's a good possibility that price could possibly bounce off that point. I'm just going to take off this low right here until we have an established low. But yeah, price might bounce off here or it might bounce off here. And guys, take that with a grain of salt, right? I said it might bounce. I'm not saying that it's going to bounce. Me, Rav, and Fahad are thinking that price might bounce off here. So, you guys don't have selective hearing, like don't use selective hearing when we're giving you guys this analysis. You guys have to actually wait for the confirmation before entering any trades off that point. So let's go back over here real quick. All right, just want to make some space there so that you guys can see. All right, so price is kind of flattening out right here. What might happen is price might bounce off here and then just consolidate a bit. And if that happens, that's fine. Because we're waiting for price to consolidate. If you guys have seen the market, price moves in phases, right? You guys can see here a lot more clear. Price moves in phases. You can see that price will generally go from a consolidation phase. And then when it finally breaks out, it drops, right? It goes into another consolidation phase. Right here, and then it breaks out. So what I'm looking for here is I'm waiting for it to go back into another consolidation phase. When it consolidates, we'll just wait for the breakout and we'll catch the ride in that direction. But it's just going to be a matter of time until that happens. So we'll see what happens shortly right here. Price might bounce off this London low or this New York low from last week, and then we'll see what happens from there. And one thing that you guys want to be careful of is the session lows. This is a brand new week. So in a lot of instances, you don't want to use these lows as like set in stone. Because the thing is they're gonna adjust. Like for example, London session from last night. I think these lows might be from last night or they might be from last week, like on Friday. So you guys want to keep that in mind because I can see right here that the London high is right here, but I know this wasn't the London high from last night because it was like way above, right? So that's one thing to also to keep in mind if you guys are using these sessions. Not that these session high lows are wrong. They're just like older from like the previous week. So like this will get updated when the London session closes today because this is a brand new day and the session hasn't closed yet. So it hasn't updated the session high lows. Like these green lines over here, these are from last week because the market hasn't been open for New York. You know, we're barely open for New York for the week. So these are from Friday. And as you can see, price is starting to bounce off this point right here. Exactly what Rav and Fahad noticed earlier. Thanks, Maddie. Maddie also confirmed that sentiment went from 64 to 61. So looking at that, a lot of people are pulling out of their sells because they're anticipating price to swing right back up, which is probably going to happen. So let's check that real quick. Retail sentiment is currently at 61% short. Looking at the fundamentals real quick over here, currently 233 points in the red. So it's very bearish right now. Refreshing this right here. The entire stock index is not completely red, but for the most part, it's mostly red right here. There's a couple of green stocks. Salesforce is up 3 points. Coca-Cola is up 1 point. Apple's up 1 point. Johnson & Johnson's up 1 point. Procter & Gamble's up less than 1 point, along with Walmart. Everything else is pretty much red right now. So let's see what happens here. So price might bounce off this point, not necessarily meaning that it's going to continue to hold because the fundamentals are very strong right now. So what could happen at this point is price might bounce off here, might consolidate for a bit, and then come right back down, right? Especially with retail sentiment, because you can see a lot of people are pulling out of their sells over here. If people are pulling out of their sells, then this is like perfect for market makers and pretty much institutions, right? Because what they can do is they can just let price go up. And what happens is people take out their sells, right? And then as soon as they take out their sells, they just dump price right back down. People FOMO into that, and then they spike price right back up to stop people out who FOMO'd into the sells. So, you know, just got to be really patient and wait for these actual entries to appear. Currently, right now, there's no entries available. I mean, obviously, you can see there's nothing for any of these strategies right here. But the daily might be a good one today if it does swing to the upside. But who knows? We'll see what happens when it happens. Other than that, I'm going to go and draw a new low right here. And same with this right here. We're just going to move this a little lower. All right, so this is pretty much the range for today so far. And you can see price is starting to push up pretty heavily from that point. But you can see the big wick right here starting to develop. Fahad said most stocks are turning red in US 30. So yeah, if they're turning red, then we can probably anticipate price to continue dropping further and further. Yeah, it's pretty much the same right here for the most part. I mean, most of them are red. You can see all of these right here are all red, or now Walmart's now red. So all of these right here are red. These are the only green stocks. The only one that's really holding it up right now currently is Salesforce and Coca-Cola, but this can easily shift to the red side in a matter of moments. So I don't recommend taking any buys here, guys. If you guys are looking for this bounce right here, I don't recommend taking any buys because this can easily just come right back down, which is kind of what I'm anticipating. I'm anticipating this to go into some consolidation and then finally break back down for another sell. Price is pushing up right here. This pending high just got invalidated because this candle touched it. As price continues to move sideways, I'll create another range. And then as that range is created, we can, we can look for any entries here with regard to any of these strategies. What I'm looking for here is this. So this is kind of what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this to go into consolidation at this point, not necessarily right here, but at some point right here, go into some consolidation, and when it breaks below, if we get a sell signal, then it's going to qualify for an entry using all these three strategies, because we'll have a high-low scalp entry plus the sell signal will confirm the pivot scalp in the intraday. The trend meter is red right now. Going over to the 3-minute, nothing available here. Going over to the 10-minute, nothing available here either. So yeah, it's just us waiting pretty much for this to come right back down. But we'll see what happens in the next couple of minutes or so. Maddie said sell variation at 656, so pulled early because of green momentum. So let's see. Oh yeah. Yeah, so there was, it looks like, I think that was pending, right, Maddie? So that's probably why you saw it. Yeah, so there was a pending high right there. And yeah, there was a variation at that point right there. I mean, it's risky because, like Maddie said, there was a buy signal. Generally, if you take the variation, you want to take it where it's going opposite of momentum still going in that direction. But yeah, that would be a variation entry right there. So I think Maddie took it, but he pulled out early. And taking that variation right there, I don't know, it looks like it might have hit TP. Yeah, you would hit your profit target right there, Maddie. So Maddie did catch that variation right there and hit full TP off that. So as you guys can see, we have the high right here. And it's pretty much doing what we anticipated, right? We anticipated the bounce up and then consolidation to the side, and then now push to the downside right here. This would technically be an entry if the sell closes below this line right here. However, it's going to be a bit risky because it's getting close to the New York low over here, which it can easily bounce off. But let's see. So if you guys want to take this, you guys can. It's going to be a bit risky. Maybe lower your lot size. Let's see. I see how it closes. If it closes below there, maybe I'll take it for a small lot size. The only problem is that it's close to these session high lows. No entry. So no entry because it didn't close below there. Yeah, that would have been a good entry too if it closed below, because it did come right here, come down. But yeah, it's just, it's a matter of discipline, guys. So unfortunately, no entry off that. That would have been a good entry too. Would have hit a TP, full TP off that. See, but it's okay. I mean, it didn't give an entry, so I'm not going to enter it. I was ready to enter the trade though. It's all good though. Let me see. Yeah, so this has been invalidated by this candle over here. This is now going to be the next low, or pending low, I guess. Yeah, which is fine, because I still would have found this to be a bit risky due to the fact that it's so close to the previous New York low over here, this green line. So it's okay. It'll be fine if price continues to consolidate sideways, because if it comes down again below, I want it to close below this New York low from last week. And then when it does close, I'll take that for a sell, because it'll fit all these requirements here for all three strategies. All right. So this pending low is just broken. So we have another one down here. And this is fine right here. This is okay that price is now consolidating within this area, because this is exactly what we were looking for at this point. So here's a clean chart. All right, what I need this low right here to be established. In order for it to be established, we need 5 candles to pass it. So this is the first candle right here. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once we have 5 candles within this area and this low has been established, then I want a sell signal to close below here. If we get a sell signal close below this line, not just this line, but below the New York low as well, then um, it'd be an entry for all three strategies right here. So you guys have an idea of what we're waiting for. And it's all about patience, guys. Just waiting for that perfect entry to come up, take that entry, and then you have that one perfect trade for the day. You know, something that I have to remind you guys is that, you know, you don't have to take like 10, 20, 30 trades a day, right? If you can catch like 1 to 5 good trades a day, I mean, you're pretty much solid because your profits just keep adding up. So right here, we have a pending low that hasn't been established yet. Again, right here, we have a pending high. And as you guys can see, the range is starting to get tighter and tighter, right? You guys can kind of see here that we have this big range from this high over here and this low. Then we have this smaller one that was developing, and then we have an even smaller one right here. So we'll see what happens next. We need this to establish, though. It hasn't established yet. If price touches it, it's going to invalidate it and create a new low. And there you can see right there, price closed below it, or not closed, but it broke below it. Now the low's been pushed even lower down here. This isn't going to be a high-low entry. If this closes, this is going to be an entry for the pivot scalp and momentum, entry to momentum, but I wouldn't take it yet because it's so close to this New York low that it can bounce right off it. So as you can see right here, this would be an entry using these two strategies over here. I wouldn't take it personally because it's at this New York low. And what could happen at this point is price can bounce off it. So that's why I wouldn't take it. But I mean, some people, you know, if you want to take the riskier trades, that's an entry right there. And that would have been a full TP off that. Yep, straight full TP off that right there. And that's fitting these two strategies right here. In intraday, because you want to confirm a valid K2 momentum signal. Right here, we have a valid sell signal. And you want to confirm the trend meter matches. So it's red and red. That'd be an entry using this strategy, and then also a pivot scalp. You want to confirm a valid K2 momentum signal. Right here is a valid sell signal. You want to confirm that price is below the K2 pivots, which is this 2 and 3. And then you would enter on the open of the following candle, which would have been right there. And you'd shoot for 100 pips, which would be right there, straight to full TP. So as you guys can see right here, the strategies still work perfectly fine. It's just me being conservative. I want all three of these to line up. There was two strategies that lined up right here for this one and also for this one right here. So there was two entries that were available. This one right here and this one down here, both hit full TP. But I'm just not trying to take that risk. Also, you can see right here that that price is bouncing right off that New York low, right? So if you didn't get out in time and you weren't like on point with your exits, then you probably would have gone constant pullback right there. So if you guys are taking these trades, you guys got to make sure that you guys get out at the right time. Don't get greedy and try to hold on for longer than you should. Once you hit your TP, you got to pull out of that trade and just wait for the next one. Yeah, nice. So Maddie just confirmed that 59, it's 59% or 59 short on a retail sentiment. So it's 61 right now. Maddie said it just changed. So if I refresh this, it's now 58% short. So a lot of people are pulling out of their shorts and waiting for price to swing back to the upside, which is completely fine. Because if they do that, we'll just keep looking for sells. Yeah, you can see right here, price just bounced off the previous New York session low. And then it's bouncing right back up, which is all right. I want this to, so I want this to close with the buy signal right there. And then I want this to continue to consolidate sideways, because if it does that, we can catch it on the next try as it drops again after this. So let's wait for it to go back into this consolidation phase, and then we'll catch the next entry as price continues to move along further. And here's a clean chart here. You guys can see it a lot better where price is bouncing on the area. Let me go and just draw the times that we look out for. So basically 8 o'clock, so I'm usually done trading by 8 o'clock. 8 to 9 is going to be like some consolidation phase. 9 to 10 consolidation phase. 10 to 12 then mark a reversal. All right. So as you can see, price is going back into this consolidation right here, which is completely fine. This is exactly what we wanted. Because now that it's into this consolidation again, you can like basically what happens is the market makers, institutions are just turning the market, right? So you can see that what they're doing is they're just pushing price sideways because they want to see where all the retail traders are. If there's more retail traders on the sell side, then they push price up because that's how they make money, right? They stop people out. Vice versa, if they see too many people on the buy side, they continue dropping price lower, right? So what I'm looking at over here, what we're all looking at is we're looking at the retail sentiment. Price went from 65% short to now 58%. That means a lot of people are pulling out of their shorts and going into the buy side. With that said, that's perfect because if people go to the buy side, we're anticipating this to go sideways. Let's take this off. We're anticipating this to consolidate for a bit, but eventually we're anticipating it to drop right back below, right? Which is cool. That's exactly what we're looking for here. One thing that you guys want to be careful of though, is now at this point, now that price is consolidating, I personally wouldn't be looking to enter any trades for just these two strategies. Because earlier this was directional, right? Price was trending trending to the downside. So the sell signal right here using these two strategies was perfectly fine. Same with this one over here. However, now that price is going into a hard consolidation, if you get a sell signal, I wouldn't just enter off that sell signal because price is in between these two session lows right here, and price can easily bounce off. So if you get into a sell signal and it bounces off this point, you're going to get screwed, right? So you want to wait for it to close below this point right here. This is the key area. When price closes below here, price is likely to continue dropping further because price is currently in consolidation right here. And then when price finally breaks outside of it, it'll probably continue dropping lower and lower because you guys can see the phases, right? We have consolidation sideways here, breakout, consolidation, breakout, consolidation right here. If it breaks below here, probably another breakout. So that's basically what we're looking for at this point. All right, cool. All right, so we'll be waiting for these entries to come up. 7:10 right now, so we still have about 30 good minutes in the market until market generally goes into its sideways phase from like 8 to 9. So I'm anticipating a breakout to happen between now and 8 o'clock. Not necessarily a big breakout, but a breakout outside of where price currently is right now. So we have this low that's been established, which is perfectly fine. It's exactly what we're looking for. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles right here. This is still a pending high, but this one right here has been established. But as you guys can see, price is now consolidating sideways at this point. Here goes the consolidation. If this gets invalidated, which it did, so it just got invalidated right there, you can see price touched it. This is no longer a pending high, and this is no longer a pending high either. And as we clear that up, you guys can see that the range just went back into its original range, right? Because we had that smaller range, and then now it's back into this range right here. So we'll see what happens shortly. We'll see if there's anything available in the next couple minutes or so. Let's see, Jay's asking if that'd be considered a snipe on the 10-minute. No. So no snipe right here, Jay. Which one are you referring to? Because I don't see anything over here. Let me see if there's another zone around that area possibly. No zone. So from these zones right here, Jay, it would need to be a wick rejection off the zone and off the pivot. So looking at these most recent candles right here, there's no rejection off the pivot here. It's just off the zone. And then again, right here, there's rejections off the pivot, but not off the zone over here. This one up here would have been an entry though. This one like right there, but this was like an hour ago. So I'm not sure if you're referring to this one, but this right here would have been a snipe, and that would have been a full TP right there. But Everything else, there's no rejection off the pivot and structure. So there's rejections off like one or the other, but you need both. So you need a wick rejection off the K2 pivot, and you need a wick rejection off the zone. So no entries off a snipe right now, but that would have been, I mean, the most recent one would have been right here at 610. Let's see, Maddie said 57% short now. That's cool. So we got another pending high right here. Never mind, it just rejected off it. Another pending high right here. Looks like it might be a variation coming up soon, Maddie. The only problem with the variation right here is that it's so close to this London low. It'd have to be a really quick move, if anything at all, really. So let's see. All right. Yeah, Maddie said I'll probably pull out early if it comes up. Yeah, because I mean, it looks like it could be a good variation, but oh, I mean, not anymore. It already passed. But yeah, if it did come up, it'd be kind of risky just because it's at this London low right here. Price might be shifting to the upside though. Let me check real quick. Fundamentals are still 218 points in the red, so I wouldn't really be looking for any buys right now. Yeah, the stock index is pretty much red for the most part. Salesforce is currently up 4 points, but I mean, for the most part, yeah, these are all red. Futures are down 284 points. Retail sentiment's currently 57% short. So, you know, we're getting a bit of like some mixed signals right now, which is fine. I mean, it happens, especially on a day like this, Monday, where market hasn't really stabilized. Generally, you want to wait for the market to stabilize and choose its direction before it continues. You know, my guess is that it's going to keep either dropping or going sideways until like tomorrow, because tomorrow is when the inflation news is coming out. All right, cool. So 1 minute looks solid right there. It just keeps pushing up higher and higher. So this high just keeps getting pushed higher and higher, which is all right. You know, it's bound. I'm just going to delete this for right now until this closes. We got a pending buy signal here for the 3 minute, but it wouldn't be an entry for either of these. Well, it'd be an entry for the daily, but I wouldn't take it because fundamentals are so strong for a sell. And it wouldn't be an entry for the pivot scalp because price would need to be above the pivots in order for it to be a valid buy. Yeah, Maddie said, I think it's trying to stack up more buyers before it drops. No, I agree. I could see that happening too. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's still within this consolidation phase right here, Maddie. So you know, it's going to keep bouncing around this area. It hasn't broken this high yet. It's been trying to, but it hasn't. We have another pending high right there. So it can easily just keep going back and forth until it breaks out of this area. If you can see from this point, price is just, it's not really doing much. It's still within this range. The range just got a little bit tighter right here off this one. Right there. But as you guys can see, the market kind of died down a bit. Volatility died down like pretty quickly after this drop. So what I can see right here at this point is I can kind of just see market churning for a bit. It's probably going to go for a bit sideways until it breaks out either above or below. My guess is that eventually it's going to swing back to the upside. So basically what usually happens from this point is, I'm trying to see what I think is going to happen here. I think price might drop a little bit lower. And then it'll just consolidate for a bit. Consolidate, and then maybe come back up to this area. Consolidate for a bit again. And then probably from like 9 to 10, probably that mid-market reversal to the upside. And it'll just come back to where opening price was. Because you can see right here, this is opening price. $629. So market opened right here. Price is probably going to come back to where it opened from at that point. But I mean, we'll see. There's no guarantee it's going to happen, but you know, the market moves in cycles. Generally from like, you know, from like 8 to 9, it consolidates for a bit. 9 to 10 to more consolidation, and it just keeps doing the same. It's the same pattern almost every day. The new high right here is broken, so just got to move this over a little bit. Right over there. All right. So as you can see, price is still within this area. I'm just going to delete that, and we'll just follow it from here. Yeah, price hasn't broken out of this consolidation or this range, whatever you guys want to call it, whether you call it consolidation or range, pretty much the same thing. Price is just ranging within these two, this high and this low. This is still the main range right here, though. So market opened right here at 629 or 630. This is the high, and then this is the low. And then within that area, there's a smaller range right here. So we will we'll see what happens in the next couple of minutes or so. Hopefully we get an entry. I want at least one entry before we get off this live session. Generally for Monday, it's just been, I mean, Monday's been like usually our only hitter for a lot of the times. Like this week, I think last week, we only took trades on Monday during the live. Let me just go over real quick. Yeah, so pretty much, oh no, it was Tuesday actually. So last week we only took trades on Tuesday. We took a lot of trades on Tuesday though, and they all hit. But the week before that, we took trades on Monday. I think Monday and Friday. We had like one daily entry that hit on Monday. And then, yeah, we had 2 trades. We had the daily that hit, one scalp on Monday, and then one breakout on Friday. So we'll see. I mean, it's just, you know, it's just about being cautious, especially during this time. All right, so price is finally going up and testing this this high over here. Let me just delete this. It's coming up and testing this high. If price comes and touches this high right here, it's going to invalidate this high. And then this will just be the new pending high. Man, this market, well, I mean, it's not a surprise. It is Monday. But yeah, the market is super slow right now. We have a pending buy signal right here off the 3-minute, 10-minute, nothing there. There just isn't much for us to look at this point. Oh, and you can see right here. So you guys remember the support that I drew earlier from the 10-minute? Price came right down to it and bounced exactly off it right there. Doesn't mean it's going to hold, but you guys can see that if you guys rewind to the beginning of the session, I drew these supports right here. Price bounced right off it. Exactly. Yeah. Charles said market is ass. No, it is. It sucks, but it is what it is. All right, so price is actually coming right back down. We have a sell signal right here, but this isn't one that I would take. You know, like I was mentioning before, guys, it gets a bit risky when it's within these two lows here. Also, because it's in consolidation, you don't want to be taking any entries when price is consolidating. You want to wait for it to break outside of the consolidation phase. So what I'd be looking for is for it to close below here. And you can see that price is retracing super hard right there, right? So let me see how far this could retrace back to. Yeah, so for example, here, if you were to take a sell, this would be risky because your stop loss is gonna be 300 pips away, which would be right here. And it's within this consolidation phase. If your stop loss was outside of the consolidation, then it'd be all right, but it's within it. So you definitely don't want to take any trades within this area right here. Because what might happen is you might get stopped out and then it comes right back down to where it's supposed to go. So I don't recommend taking this candle right here. I know it's a sell signal and it's for a pivot scalp and intraday, but I don't recommend taking it because you can easily pull it to the upside and stop you out before it comes right back down. I'll be looking for it to close below here. All right, so no entries available right now. Let's see what's gonna happen next. Nothing off this 10-minute, nothing off this right here. There's a 1 minute. Let's see, Peter's asking, would you take a smaller lot for a buy and set opening prices TP? I wouldn't, Peter, because you're not really sure when price is going to go to the upside yet. If you get a daily entry, then maybe, but I still wouldn't take it because the fundamentals are still very strong for a sell. Still 243 points in the red. You're basically like, so like an analogy to this is like standing in front of a speeding train, praying that it'll stop. This is speed, like it's still going pretty heavy to the downside. So I wouldn't do it. Your odds are very low for it to swing to the upside because it's not always going to go up there. I mean, there's no guarantee it's going to go back to opening price. If it does go up, like say, for example, you get a buy entry, like off the daily or something like that, then that's going to be your catalyst, right? Your catalyst of price probably going up. Right now, we don't have a buy signal coming up anytime soon for the daily. So I don't really see it coming at any point. So you really don't have a catalyst to enter a buy right now at all. You can see prices actually dropping lower and lower still. So I personally wouldn't, because you would just be gambling at that point, unless you have some sort of entry or some sort of catalyst pushing price to the upside. So yeah, short answer to your question is no, I wouldn't take a buy right now. Maybe if you get a buy off the 10-minute, but definitely not right now specifically. But yeah, I mean, other than that, 7:30 right now. I was kind of hoping to get at least one. There's a couple entries that were available. I mean, even this entry right here, if you took this, even though I was telling you guys that it was risky, it still hit profit. So, just depending on how risky you guys want to be, you guys can take these trades. But, if you guys ever do take these risky trades, just understand the risk, So if you guys lose a trade, if you guys take a risky trade and lose it, just understand that it was a risky trade. And it's fine, it's okay to trial and error to take these risky trades. But just don't get mad about it. That's the main thing. So like what I always tell people is like, whenever you guys lose a trade, you guys have to go and analyze it to determine, what could you have done differently. Like, for example, if you take a risky trade and you lose it and you just get mad and you say, something's not working. It's not that it wasn't working, it's just that it was a risky trade. If it hits, then great. But if you do lose a trade taking something risky, just understand that, there's reasoning behind why you probably lost that trade. Other than that, a couple people here took a couple trades here. So like Patrick over here took a couple, took some buys and he took some sells, locked in a total of 6,246. So nice work right there, Patrick. Looks like he took these, or this was from like earlier, this London session. So he took these earlier. He took the sell right here about at 622, I believe, or 722, about 4 minutes ago. He took the sell, probably that sell right here. It looks like he took this one. And he locked in a profit of 2,203. So nice work right there, Patrick. Yeah, he said lowered lot size on that last sell, done for the day. Nice. And then Casey over here as well. Let me check the charts. This would technically be an entry for a high low. If it closes, it needs to close below this line though, for it to be an entry for a high low. But see what happens there. Yeah, man. See, this market is like, it was so close to closing below it, but it didn't close below it. And then look, prices dropped super heavily. This is why you guys got to be a bit careful with these markets here, because this is the breakout that we're waiting for. It just didn't fit our criteria. So unfortunately, we missed the sell here. This would have been a perfect entry because we were waiting for it to break outside of this consolidation and close below here. And it like didn't at the last second. I was literally waiting for it to close below there. It pushed up slightly and then it just crashed down, below where we were waiting for. So I think I'm going to take this as a hint that today's probably not a good day to trade for me personally. Sometimes you guys got to follow your intuition like that. Like if the market's giving you these hints here that like if the market keeps playing like Maddie said, if your market's playing, if the market keeps doing this, this is it's usually a hint that like the market is going to be playing games the entire session. But yeah, you guys can see here. I mean, if you guys want to go back and replay that, we were literally waiting for this to close below this line so we could take a sell. It closed right, like, if you zoom in a little bit, it's like less than a pip. It literally closed, yeah, like a 1 pip, 1 or 2 pips from the price that we were looking for. And it didn't. It swung up right here and then it came right back down after. And this is key for you guys to understand, like to not FOMO into trades, right? Because there's there's certain, like when you see stuff like this, people FOMO into trades, right? They see price dropping like this, and what happens? People enter sells at any random moment. And yeah, sometimes you'll get lucky and you'll win a couple trades, but once you get unlucky, price is going to swing right back up and hit your stop loss. So what I do recommend, guys, if you guys are watching the chart right now, don't FOMO into any of this stuff right here. Like if there's no entry available, don't take it. If you try to FOMO into this move right here, my guess is that price is going to swing right back up. You guys can see this candle right here, and I can probably see this swinging right back up right here, and then people getting stopped out. So that's something I got to remind you guys, because this happens to me all the time too, where I FOMO into trades. It still happens to me today. Luckily, whenever I FOMO into trades, I get like I would call it luck, because there was no entry available and I just entered it and then it still went in my direction. But my guess right here is that this is going to swing back up. So people who FOMO'd into this move right here, they're probably going to get stopped out right now. And you can see this green candle right here starting to build up. There's no guarantee it's going to happen, but that's, being caught in a lot of these moves here where you FOMO into something late, it's usually going to go to the upside. So see what happens right here. And this is like the worst part here, because the thing is price broke out of this consolidation and then now it's going back into another consolidation right here. Right. So this consolidation has been done with. It's now going to create a new consolidation phase right here, because it's getting close to 8, guys. So like as it gets closer to 8, it starts to just create a new zone below, new consolidation zone. Rick said you just jinxed me. Took a 130 on which one right here on this lower low. Dang, so you entered right here, Rick, at this bottom. Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah. So yeah, Rick followed into the move right there. He entered a sell right here and then it just swung up and then he got stopped out, I guess. Like this always plays out. Like this is a pattern that I see all the time. And generally, so this is one thing that I started to notice with the high-low indicator. When price reaches like a higher high, and depending on like what the candlestick pattern looks like, it usually drops pretty heavily. Again, right here, we have a lower low and then it pushes right back up right here. So one thing that you guys want to remember is that, and something that you guys will pick up over time, is that these patterns keep repeating themselves. Like if you trade US 30 like I do every single day, you'll see the same pattern just repeat itself over and over again. So you guys want to be a bit careful. What was your stop loss off that, Rick? Let me check. So your stop loss is probably 300. So it's kind of too tight, especially with the market being this volatile, because it did push up quite a bit. If it was like 500 pips, you probably would have been able to survive it. Yeah, if you had a tight stop loss, so guys, my recommendation right here is to, if you guys don't need a trade, I wouldn't recommend trading right now, because you can see that the market is kind of just it's literally playing games at this point. Price broke out, then it comes up to this point. It's probably going to create another consolidation zone within this area. Sorry, let me draw a different line. It's probably going to create another consolidation within here. Go sideways for a bit, and then break out again. In either way. So you guys just want to be very careful with these trades here. I mean, it is Monday. Usually Monday, I'm the most careful because the market hasn't really stabilized and hasn't chosen a direction for the week. What you basically want to use Monday for is to identify where price is likely to be going for the rest of the week. Because usually, you know, if you go in the higher time frames here, like the 1 hour, you can see from last week, if you waited for the confirmation on Monday, right? So like, for example, right here, the new week started on the 6th right here, right? So if you waited to see what happened when the market opened here on the 6th, because you guys can see the fake outs happening around this area. So this is going to be Monday, the Monday trading day. You can see how it kind of faked out right here, right? When market opened right here, price dropped. And then what happened was it came right back up. And then you can see what happened for the rest of the week, right? Price just continued going up higher, consolidated a bit, and then continued higher even further. So what I usually use Monday for is for this specific reason. I use this to identify where price is likely to go for the rest of the week. So right here on the 13th, this is Monday. You can see prices starting to drop right here, but this doesn't necessarily mean it's going to continue dropping, right? Like towards the end of the session, this can easily just come right back up. Doesn't mean it's going to come right back up. So don't take that as like us predicting price didn't go back up, but it can easily go back up just like it did right here. So you guys just want to keep that in mind. That's why usually I don't even take trades on Monday unless I see something that's really good. So let's see, going back over here, you can see that price is now in this new consolidation area. And there we go. We have a new high that's been established. Price is now going sideways. So if you guys have questions or you guys want me to go into anything like more in detail, let me know. I think today I'll be holding the mentoring session. So I know, sorry for the late notice, guys. I was trying to hold it on today or Friday. Seems like majority of people can show today. So it looks like we might be having it maybe today around 4 p.m. Pacific. So when I do get off this session, that's kind of why I'm getting off a little early so I can go and get all my stuff done for the day. And then I can come back for the mentoring session a few hours later. So if you guys have questions now, feel free to drop your questions in the chat. Otherwise, I think I'm probably going to sit out this session because of, you know, how the market's moving right now. It's just not moving smoothly at all. So I definitely want to be a bit careful with today because you can see, so initially we had the consolidation area within here. Price consolidated, broke below, and then now it's in a new consolidation area right here. It's a new low. Yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll see what happens. You know, the next couple minutes or so. But yeah, if you guys have questions, you know, feel free to drop them in the chat. Otherwise, I don't think I'm personally going to be taking any more trades right now. Unless this variation right here closes. Nope, it didn't. So Maddie, I was looking for that variation right there. It didn't come up, unfortunately. I've been waiting for it, man. I'm like, Maddie's waiting for it too. I was literally waiting for this variation right here to close. It didn't close, but if it did, I would have taken it for a quick little profit right there. Yeah, not really much over here. Let's see. Yeah, there's not really much, man. Let me look at the chat over here real quick and see what else is going on. So let's see. Albert over here locked in a total of 5,647 for the day. He took pretty much all the sells that we identified right here off of 1 minute. So nice work right there, Albert. Looks like you took all the trades. So you took the sells right here at 633, 633, 637, 639. Pretty much all morning right here. The sell scalps that you saw, you took. So great work off that, Albert. total of 5,647 for the day. And then Patricia over here as well. She said, done for the day, market is messed up. She locked in a total of 4,360. She took some buys and some sells, took a small loss right there. But other than that, pretty much good profit all around. So great work right there, Patricia. Going over here, Gallo as well, locked in a total of 3,828. Nice for a Gallo. Took some sells and a buy right there as price bounced. Great work off that. Patricia right here. Yeah, I just saw hers right there. Other than that, Casey over here. Nice. Casey locked in. Said caught a good profit off his 50K challenge, possibly done for the day. And he's keeping track of his trades. So this is key, guys. If you guys are documenting your trades and journaling, you guys can identify exactly, where your problems are. This is what I always recommend people do. If you have issues with consistency, document all your trades and then identify, why are you losing the trades? Because the thing is, if you can, like Casey right here, he identified his losses. If you can wipe out all these losses and have all wins, then you can do perfectly fine with your trading overall. So definitely great work right here, Casey. I see you locking a total of 569 for the day. Great work. Deswell over here as well. He caught the bounce back up. So Deswell is watching here on the YouTube. He caught that as it bounced back up, locked in a total of 5,900. Nice work, Deswell. He caught that bounce right here. So great work right there, Deswell. And this is exactly what, so if you guys remember a few minutes ago, you guys remember what I mentioned right here? People who FOMO'd into the sell just got stopped out, right? So literally everything that I just told you guys, like I was like, don't FOMO into this trade, don't enter the sell, because if you did, price was going to bounce up, and look what happened. It did exactly what we anticipated. It bounced right to the top, like right back to the top right here. So guys, if this doesn't scream stay out the market, then I don't know what will, but I'm definitely going to stay out the market right now, because this literally did exactly what what I was anticipating, right? So yeah, I mean, Rick, good thing that you pulled out right there, because if you just held on, like this could have been like an even worse loss right there, because the same pattern repeats itself. I mean, I probably should have taken a sell there because I did anticipate it to come up, but for me, I don't like taking those speculative trades. I only take trades when I'm like absolutely positive it's going to go in that direction. So yeah, Randy said, you're funny. You say I probably won't be trading, then bam, you do. Yeah, I know. Every once in a while, I mean, if I see something good, I'll take it, obviously, but right now it's just because it's going to go into consolidation for a bit from like 8 to 9 anyways. So yeah, guys, I don't see any trades available right now. If you guys have any questions, it's 7:40 right now, so I'm about to get off this live session. I will be back live in about some 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, I'm gonna count those off. 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. So in about 8 hours. In about 8 hours, I'll be live for the mentoring session at 4 o'clock today. If you guys have any more specific questions, we can go over anything that you guys want during that mentoring session. Reminder, I'm trying to have these mentoring sessions once a week for you guys to make sure that you guys are getting everything and all your questions are getting answered. I know a lot of you guys don't like asking questions during the live session because you don't want to get in the way of our trades. But today is just, it's a risky time to trade right now. Let's check the 10-minute buy signal is probably going to come up. And when it does come up, it's probably going to keep pushing up. That would be the catalyst to take a buy. But I think currently right now, there just isn't a catalyst, so I wouldn't recommend taking it. So other than that, if you guys want to continue to stay on the market, if you guys do decide to trade, I do recommend using a smaller lot size, and always remember to move your stop loss and profit to protect your position. Me personally, I'm probably going to sit out the market. So I know, like Randy said, sometimes I say I'm not going to trade and I still trade after. Today's probably not going to be one of those days because it is Monday, and I want to be a bit conservative, because the thing is, tomorrow we have inflation news. So even though volatility might be a bit low today, volatility will be a lot higher tomorrow because we have PPI and core PPI. Then on Wednesday, we have the Fed speaking on the inflation news and future economic projections. And then on Thursday, we have flash PMI, also inflation stuff. And then Friday, we have Fed member Waller speaking. So pretty much today is pretty much not much going on, but the rest of the week we have news. So the market's going to be pretty volatile, probably Tuesday to Friday. So I'm probably going to protect my capital until I get to that point. Unless I see something really good, then maybe I'll share with you guys in the group. I'll just tell you guys, I'm looking for this specific move here, probably the daily. But if not, then I'll probably just sit out for a while because the fundamentals are still very high. Yeah, 261 points or 270 points in the red. So it's very high. So other than that, guys, I think that's it for now. Let me see. B said, if you're going to take a daily, what time would it have to be before you think? It would have to be before 9 because the cutoff is at 9, B. So I don't look for anything after 9. That'd be cutoff for me. But even if that's the case, like for example, if the buy signal comes before 9, I still might not even take it, because the thing is, if the fundamentals are very strong for a sell still, then I'm probably not going to take it, because it's going to be against the fundamentals here. So if I do take, if I do look for it, it's going to be before 9. But even if it's before 9, the fundamentals still have to shift by then. So we need to see a big push to the upside before that even happens, because the fundamentals are still 281 points in the red. It's going to take a while for it to get to the green. But if it does, then that'll be good for us. So other than that, guys, I think that's it for this session. If you guys do have any questions, feel free to reach out to me through email or Telegram. I'll try to get back to you guys as soon as possible. Otherwise, I'll be back live in the next about 6 or 8 hours for the mentoring session today. I'll give you guys an update in the group to remind you guys. Just keep that in mind that later today is going to be the mentoring session. So if you guys have any questions till then, you guys probably just keep a list of them and we'll knock them out during the live session. Otherwise, I would be careful in the market. Just looking at current price right here, price is still ranging within this area. What might happen is price might come right back down. And then once 8 hits, it's going to consolidate for a bit. Then it might swing back up a little bit, consolidate for a bit, and then possibly make its way to the upside for the reversal from like 10 to 12. So other than that, guys, I think that's it for the session. If you guys have questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I'll be back live in the next couple hours for the mentoring session.